It's really great to be here. I think this is an interesting venue because we all have, or conference, because this is the center of the work that I do, and I think that it's really essential that, in today's day and age, that we really work to save the environment, because it's, there isn't another planet we can move to. And it really seems like a lot of these issues are almost on the level of just being really unfixable. So, let's see here. So I'm just going to give you a quick 15-minute presentation about the work that we do at Environmental Advocates. I'm really focusing on the tools we use. So just to give a 30,000-foot view of this presentation, I'll be just going over what we do and why. Rethinking apathy in terms of engagement. We've been organizing on the oil trains issue. I'm not sure if you're aware, but New York State has become a member of the oil patch. I'll be giving some tips and how we operate. And I have like a cute pledge that maybe we could all take as political communicators. And we'll be evaluating some tools that I think are just great. So I think what we do as communicators is, environmental advocates, is we interface between the policy wonks and normal people. So, I mean, a lot of these issues they're kind of difficult to follow along with, not only because of technical jargon and because the information can be siloed, but for other reasons as well. And what we do is we try to distill that information into bite-sized pieces for regular people. And the goal is to basically keep people informed and provide opportunities to get involved, because that essentially builds our influence. Because if we have 1,000 people flooding a decision maker's inbox, or if we have a lot of press articles on something, that really can multiply our messaging. It really helps us achieve our goals. And basically, how do we achieve that as a communications department? Is we strive to entertain and inform along user experience design principles. Basically, I think we went over this. Okay, so we also have legal obstacles. There's even legal obstacles that can keep people from getting involved. In terms of, in the New York State Senate session in Albany, you can't film unless you're a member of the press. It's a great example. So, I have a short video.
Yeah. Let's see, where would we pick? Krista, where's this video? Where's this video? Where? Video?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. That's all right. We can move ahead with that. It's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. One slide.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this fantastic talk that I really recommend you check out on TED, which I'm sure a lot of people here are big fans of TED. So David Meslin from I'm not sure what organization he's from, but he gave this great talk about how what people call apathy is actually a lack of being able to get involved. And we face this issue on the oil trains issue. As I said, New York State has become part of the oil patch. We have mass quantities of oil that are being produced in North Dakota and up in Canada, which are being transported by rail car. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but last summer in Canada, one of these trains actually exploded and killed 47 people. And we're basically trying to prevent this from happening not only in communities across New York State, but also across our nation. So this was how the information was presented to the public in terms of like the Department of Environmental Conservation from New York State. And this essentially is supposed to be, it's supposed to let the public know that there's a public information hearing where you can provide comments and ask questions about a plan to expand an oil refinery in Albany, which I think a lot of people would like to know. And if you wanted to find this, you'd have to search through. I mean, it was like 10 clicks into the site, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, and somewhere here, a public information session will be held Wednesday, February 12th, and here's the location. Now, who's going to find that? So what we did was we made it a little bit more accessible with a Facebook page and an informative email. As you can see, it's a lot more accessible, and we're kind of meeting people halfway. And what was the result? I mean, we also created images that for activists, for people to hold. So we were trying to get these images together with our messaging right into the media. And the result was the community responded, and the information session was packed. There were hundreds of news articles. And we consider this campaign to be a great success. I mean, just my organization has had 200 press placements. We've brought in 1,000 new members on this issue. We're currently nurturing a grassroots movement of activists across New York State, centered in Albany, on this issue. And there have been some wins. There's a county-wide moratorium on the expansion of this issue in Albany. The Albany government has called for a full environmental impact study. This multinational corporation, which had just taken the community for granted and was just going to expand this facility without letting anyone know, they've had to pivot their plan. And the governor has started to get involved. And he's like one of our greatest advocates, because we really believe that when he starts to notice and he turns attention to something, we really see results. So what's happened is we have an extended comment period, and they might even do a full environmental impact study, which would really look at the underpinning issues here, figure out whether it's safe or not, and then we might be seeing more regulation to keep it safe. It's a big win for us. So how did we achieve these wins? What we try to do is we remove the pain points. So fewer clicks to get to the information, fewer clicks to take action. We meet people halfway. So if your audience is using Reddit, you should be on there too. If they're using Facebook, if they're using Tumblr, we strive to make our materials compelling and beautiful. We use memes, and it's really important for us to entertain as we inform. These things should always kind of meet together. And basically, you should remember that you're requesting these people's good name, their time, their money, and their effort. So you should, just basically just always try to respect that. Okay, so how did we do this at Environmental Advocates? Basically, we stopped using email as project management software because things were getting lost. We didn't have search artifacts. Like, we didn't, there were always email chains with many people internally and externally involved, and people were always dropping off the email chain. There was always confusion. So we started using Basecamp. Now Basecamp is like a social network for getting things done as a team. And it's much better now. Things are searchable, things are on a calendar. It's basically, we have discussions now instead of email chains. We stopped using bundled services. We were using outdated member management software. I'm not sure I should name names. But these services aren't good at anything, but they do everything. So what we started to do is we use specialized services that are excellent at one thing. And basically, let's see. We're transitioning to a phase where we can present all of our content in a way that's as compelling as the internet makes possible. Thanks. Let me skip ahead. So this is what happened when we started following this, following our new strategies. This is our Twitter feed. These are our followers. As you can see, it's like a hockey stick. That's Facebook, same idea. Our email engagement, we have open rates regularly over 30%. As you can see, that's the lighter blue line. Click rates often at 20%. We have click rates better than our open rates used to be. And I'd like you just to think about some services that you love and what is so great about them. And when you're judging a new service to use as an organization, I just have this quick rubric here. I want you to think about how stressful it is for your team, how future-proof is it, how flexible is it, how's the deliverability. That means like people are using it on many different screens and devices, so does it look the same or does it at least look good on different platforms? What's the return on investment? That's like, how expensive is this relative to our entire communications budget? How beautiful, how engaging, and how useful is the analytics data we're going to pull from this? Because that's going to allow us to iterate, to change based on testing that we do and find the counterintuitive methods that are going to lead to more engagement. So I just have some quick examples since we're running out of time, but this is one of our old emails. As you can see, it's very text heavy. This is one of our new emails. We're showing people where to click. We have buttons. All the messaging is short and punchy. We're going for all of our images now being like very, very striking, and this is just kind of to respect the fact that the internet has changed the way we think, and people they're reading a little bit less, and they have less attention. So this is our environmental scorecard. We had a lot of success with this image, as you can see. And you find that the media is lazy. They will adopt your messaging, they'll adopt your images. You just have to provide them in an accessible format. Here's a few campaigns that work. These are just fluffy images, stuff people can feel good about sharing. Relative to the size of our organization, 40 shares is huge. This is another one, immediate images that just grip you, they make you maybe afraid, and this is a spur for action. This one I like because you can't avoid making eye contact with. We're basically just trying to say that they don't make their own decisions, everything is the same. Vin de frac, or this is a favorite of mine, the reset button. This is a poster for a recent event. And I just think it's important to tell people where to click. These are all buttons. So instead of a link, by the way, if you're writing an email and you have multiple links and you want them to click one, take out the other links and put the one you want them to click on in a physical button. And basically, this is just going back to reducing the pain points for people to get involved. I have two action alerts here. This is from Normal. You need to put in your zip code to figure out whether you can take the action. And I did, and this is what I got. This action not available in your area, start over. Well, I'm not going to visit their action alerts again. I don't know if you would, but basically, what they should be doing is just taking out a person's information and then letting them know whether they can take the action or not. That way you're ingesting, and you're allowing people to at least feel like they're getting involved. So this is a wonderful example from the WWF. where it's just like, it's very clear what you should do. They're not asking for too much information, and anyone can take it. Okay, and just in terms of, we've really enjoyed using data visualization to help us make actionable decisions based on our analytics, and using the right tools makes this really very powerful, because this is email statistics from Convio, which we used to use, and it's not really clear to me what, it doesn't really stand out. And this is also, it's the same idea, but with MailChimp, they do the work for you, and all of the relevant details you need they just emerge from the screen. So that's what I get.
Right.